What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with the All Tea All Shade Power novella numerologicals, the miracle surgeon short story part 3. So tonight's episode was the season finale. This week on my behind the scenes video, we discussed power. Courtney Kemp did a live where she answered all of the viewers' burning questions about the show. So make sure you watch my behind the scenes video. She answered a lot of the questions that we have posed as we watch this season. So the behind the scenes video is up right now. So on the season finale, we start off with Monet. Monet and this wig meets up with Rico. Let's just talk about this wig. That hairline on that wig was rude. It was disrespectful. I felt bamboozled. I felt attacked. I felt physically threatened by it. I feel like whoever was in the hairdressing department that day did not like Mary J. Blige. Maybe she was a Faith Evans fan. Maybe she was a Anita Baker fan. Hell, maybe she was a Sarah Vaughan fan. But she obviously was not a fan of Mary J. the Blige because that wig was mean. It was mean. I felt like they were trying to make fun of her. I feel like they were trying to make a fool out of her. Like, I don't know what was going on with that, but it was just no. It was no bueno. So, Monet made an arrangement with Rico based upon a deal that Lorenzo put together because Rico shot at them on last week's episode, and the result of that was Drew getting shot. So she gives him the money that she owes him, and he thinks that everything's squared away, and he was like, while I'm here in New York, I'm gonna get this pussy or whatever. He was like, I know you ain't giving me none, and she looking like, pussy please. So when his back is turned, she shoots that nigga in the neck. It was the wig, y'all. That wig made her really aggressive. So he's shocked by this. And she then shoots him in the neck or the head or the face or something. I think she shot him like 3 times and she kills that nigga because he had her fucked up. So after that, we see Kane getting rid of Ramirez's body, like in this like swamp area or whatever. And Ramirez's phone is ringing. So he peels open the plastic that he has his body wrapped in. And Kane takes out his flip phone, his burner phone, and sees that it's Monet calling Ramirez. So he like, fuck. So he takes the SIM card out of the flip phone and gets rid of it. But then I was very confused because they show him pulling out Ramirez's badge from the fishing jumpsuit that he had on. He looks at it and then he stuffs it back into the little fishing thing that he had on. And then the gun that he had was also Ramirez, and he kept the gun as well. And the writers chose to show us this, to show us that he kept those things. Like, he already had it on his person. It wasn't anything that he pulled out after he got the phone out of Ramirez's pocket. This was something that he already had took off of him. But they wanted to show us that he had these things already on him and that he decided to keep it. Like, this is the shit that I be talking about with this stupid ass show. He's smart enough to get rid of the SIM card and the burner phone, but he's not smart enough to get rid of Ramirez's gun and his badge. He's going to just hold on to it for keepsakes. Makes absolutely no sense. Make it make sense, people. And then the fact that y'all had him pull it off of his self was stupid as fuck, just to show us physically that he still had it. I could see if y'all had him pull it off of the body and then him decide to keep it, which would still be fucking stupid. Like, this show is just dumb, bro. Like, just dumb. Like, oh my God, it makes my asshole bleed internally. So Monet is wondering where Ramirez is because he won't answer the phone, and so she's shook. So then we see Diana come to pick her up from where her and her man just got rid of Rico and his boy. And I'm like, she just got her kids all the way involved in this criminal ass shit. Like, Diana pull up like it ain't shit. So she gets in the car and Monet tells Diana like something is up. Like, Ramirez is not answering his phone. So Diana was like, everything will be all right, Ma. Let's go check on Drew. We need to get back to the hospital. So Tariq is suited and booted. I love the suit that they styled him in. Like, Tariq's style game this season has been impeccable. That maroon burgundy-ish suit fit him like a glove. So he goes to school and he runs into Lauren, and she's like, "Where you going?" He was like, "I'm going to court to testify for my mother." So she tells him that class is closed because Jabari and Caridad are still questioning the students about, the pool murder. So he looking like, damn, this shit ain't over yet. And so he sees Everett going into the class to be questioned. So he really looking like, oh shit, like what the fuck is going on? So Jabari and Caridad are questioning Everett, and Everett snitches on Drew. And I was like, this pussy ass nigga, like Drew head over heels in love with a motherfucking snitch. He's in love with the snitcher. So I was like, this pussy ass nigga here. So remember, Monet threatened Caridad, like, if this shit come back on my son, it's gonna be me and you hoe. So Caridad uses her tricks of the trade, because remember last week we found out that she was actually a trial lawyer, and flips it around to make it seem like Everett don't know what the fuck he was talking about, because he had 6 or 7 drinks, so he don't know who he saw that night push Guapo off of Zeke. So Everett peep game was like, yeah, you're right, I don't know who it was. So he changes his mind. So he leaves the room, and Caridad was like, that boy don't know what he was talking about, to Jabari. And so he was like, yeah, you right or whatever. How about, we just stop for the day because I got some work to do. Mind you, they walk out of the classroom, and that's when I noticed Caridad's outfit. What college professor, whether class is closed or not, you're still on school campus, school grounds, and you're still interacting with the students, what professor is going to be walking around with an Unbreak My Heart dress on? Like, she literally had on the same style of dress that Toni Braxton had on in the Unbreak My Heart video, with cutouts on each side of her stomach. Not just one side, but each side of her stomach. Come on, costume department. Like, y'all got it right with Tariq. But what professor is going to be walking around with their stomach out with cutouts? Let me know. I mean, I never went to college, but I mean, I don't think that that's quite appropriate. Like, the fuck. Okay, so Zeke is waiting for her. He asks, can they talk? And so she like, yeah. Jabari looking like, no the fuck you ain't. Like, this weird ass nigga here. So he peeping game that some shit is going on between them two. So they go into the office, and Zeke is freaking out, questioning her about whether or not she's talking to the police. She like, everything is good, I'm not talking or whatever. And he was like, I'm fucked. Like, I'm totally fucked. Especially when she tells him, what Everett said. So he was like, maybe I need to go talk to my family about this. And she was like, no, don't do that. Like, I got this. I'm going to fix it. And so I could tell right then and there that not only was she using her feminine wiles to keep him calm, but she's going to do the same thing with the detective as well. So she kisses him, and then we go over to Jabari's office, which is right next door, and he's ear hustling. He's listened to the whole entire conversation. So now he knows that Zeke is connected to the Tejada. So he Googles the family and sees them all at the last game, and sees Tariq sitting with them. So now he really putting 2 and 2 together. And then we see Drew in the hospital bed, and Kane pops up on him. And he looked like, nigga, what the fuck is you doing here? Like, Monet told your ass to stay the fuck away. Like, bye, nigga. Like, we don't fuck with you no more. You can't sit with us. And so Kane blames everything on Tariq. He was like, all of this shit happened when she started working with him. And Drew tells him, no, nigga, you chose Guap over us. Like, after that nigga put a gun out on me and Zeke, like, no, nigga, this is all about you. So Drew even says to him, he ain't the problem, nigga, you are. And I was like, somebody had to tell him. So Kane tells him that, he killed Ramirez. And Drew like, nigga, you are so fucking stupid. And this is why you're in the predicament you are now, because you're a hothead and you do not listen. So Kane says, so you done with me too? Like, Monet and Diana. And Drew says, you don't think about nobody but your fucking self. Get the fuck out. Like, I don't want your ass nowhere near me. I need some sage to cleanse this negative energy out of here. Like, you got to get your demonic ass the fuck on somewhere. So he leaves all, rejected. So we go to court, and we see Riley in the courtroom. Why would Riley be there? Explain this to me. Why would Riley be there in court? Especially when Sachs told him we cannot be connected to each other. Why would she be there in court? I know why they did it, for the scene, so we can see her reaction, but it makes no sense. From a writer's standpoint, it makes no sense that she would be there in the courtroom to out herself and to show Tariq that, yeah, this is my uncle and I've been working with him. It makes absolutely no sense. This is what I cannot stand with these writers, that they put the characters in situations that they should not be in, that doesn't make any sense, just to forward their stupid narrative with the storyline. But okay, so Riley's in the courtroom. Tariq turns around and looks at her, and they eyeing each other like bitch, and he looking like bitch. So Tariq takes the stand, and Saxe questions him, and Saxe asks him, did he see Tasha at Truth the night, James St. Patrick was murdered? Tariq says no, but I did see you there with a gun. Gotcha. So Saxe was like, I don't know what gun, but I mean, I was there in my official capacity. So everybody looking like, what's the tea, bitch? So Tariq says, so I guess you were in your official capacity when you followed me to my father's grave a few weeks ago. So everybody looking like, oh no, ho, what's the tea, girl? Like, Miss Thing never brought this up in court. So the judge tells Tariq, you have to answer the questions. You can't just keep on asking the questions like you're the prosecutor. So Saxe says, were you at Truth with your mother that night? Reek pauses and, for dramatic effect. Then he says, the night I went to my father's grave, I was drugged. I didn't even know where I was going. So how did you? You were there. The only reason he wants me to talk about my mother is because he heard what I said. And the only reason he heard that is because he had someone drug me. So who helped you? So he's negating the question and giving, his statement, and Tamika helped him with this. Tamika is the genius. Tamika is the new proctor, not Davis. Tamika is. So Riley is in the courtroom, scared out of her mind, because now she realizes that she's about to be implicated. And once again, it makes no sense that she would even be there in the first place, but they did it for dramatic effect, so we can see Riley's look on her face when she realizes that she done fucked up. So Saxe looks at Tamika, who's like, I told you, bitch. So the judge asks Saxe, is what Reek's saying true? So he don't answer because he realizes he done fucked up. The judge says, how many people are involved here? And Reek says, oh, I can tell you, Miss Girl. And I know, and I can tell you, and how many people knew since the beginning of this trial. So Davis realized, oh, nigga, I'm in a high seat too. So he stands up and was like, can we speak to you in the judge's chamber? She was like, yeah, all y'all need to get the fuck in here before I get the switch. So Tasha and Tariq eye each other like, I see you, bitch. I see you, girl. We did that. So in the judge's chamber, she questions Davis and Saxe, and then here comes Steven and Tamika barging in, and Steven basically told the judge to pack up her things and go, bitch, because you are no longer needed here. So she leaves out, and Tamika tells Saxe that he went too motherfucking far. Steven goes off on Saxe and Davis. Davis is like, you know what? You ain't hurt my feelings, so what can you do for us? So back in the courtroom, Steven tells Tasha that the case will be dismissed. In exchange, she swears Tommy was the head of the organization and killed Ghost. She'll be released into witness protection, but only if she gives up Tommy's whole organization. Saxe tells Steven, like, girl, you were acting prematurely. Maybe you need to think about this. He was like, look, you got outsmarted by Jason Derulo. You can't tell me shit. That line was funny. So he says, and also you're going to resign. So Tasha asks for witness protection for her whole family because Tommy going to try to kill her. Steven was like, no, I can only give it for you and Yasmin, which didn't make no sense, but okay. So Tariq begs her to take the deal because she don't really want to take it without him. And he was like, Mama, I'm going to be all right. So she eventually takes the deal. And when it's just her and Tariq, she says, we getting the fuck out of here. We about to be on the run because I'm not leaving you like a good mother would. So Tasha is escorted out of jail looking bad. She looked so good. Like her character ain't looked this good since season 1. Wig was on point. Everything was on point, like about time. So she's escorted out, and Tariq and the mama and Yasmin, along with the press, are all waiting for her outside. And she looking like, Davis, what the fuck are these people doing here? Because he asked the press to come. So he tries to give her a speech to say to the press, but she gives her own speech. Mind you, Yas look like she about 12 years old now with Afro puffs. I rock rough and stuff with my Afro puff. Hey, rock on with your bad self. This girl literally went from being 2 years old to 12 years old. Remind you, this whole show all 6 seasons of Power, and now this show has taken place over the span of a year. So explain to me how Yasmin went from being 2 years old to 12. Don't know, but all right, let's play along. So David says now the hunt for Tommy Egan can begin. So Tariq asks Tasha, are they really gonna make a run for it? And she was like, I'm not gonna rat on Tommy. We gotta get the fuck up out of here. And Tariq was like, Monet ain't gonna let me go. And Tasha was like, don't worry about her. Do what I say. I'm your mammy. Fuck that hoe. She ain't push you out her coochie. So Riley pops up on Braden at the school in the quad and asks him, can they talk? And he calls her out about, the whole sex situation, that being her uncle and, using him. So she admits it, but she tells him that Reek is dangerous and will do anything to get what he wants. And he says, so will you, girl, like game recognized game. And of course she can't really say much to that. So she was like, he's gonna get you hurt or killed. That's foreshadowing, by the way. The writers are letting you know that at some point in this series, Braden's going to get hurt or killed because of Tariq. So she tells him that she loved him, and he ain't trying to really hear that. And so he leaves her and walks off. So Zeke visits Tariq at his room, and he tells him that he can't reach Drew. He does not know that Drew is in the hospital and has been shot. Nobody has told him. They're not telling him on purpose. So Zeke tells him about what happened at the club, about, Guapo and them running up on them. And he says that Tariq needs to watch his back because Monet don't tell everybody everything, and he should have stayed away from Monet after he told him to. Now, mind you, he didn't know about Drew being shot, and Tariq didn't know nothing about Guapo and them running up on Zeke and Drew at the club. So he realizes that Monet be keeping him in the dark about certain things at that point. So Tariq meets with Diana that night and tells her that Drew's name came up at the school and that maybe Ramirez can help them. So she was like, you ain't heard? He was like, what? So she hesitant because, Mama done told him, you can't be telling everything. But she eventually tells him how Kane killed Ramirez and he is out of control and that Tariq, girl, you need to be careful because you in danger, girl. You in danger. So he was like, look, I'm going to be fine. And, I'm going to protect you. I got you. Like, on everything, I got you. And he meant that when he said that. Like, he does care for Diana. Is he in love with Diana's character? No, but he cares about her. And I'm going to explain more about that at the end of this episode. So Tariq, in that black and white outfit the next day was everything. That Montclair vest and them black and white jeans, that outfit was hard as fuck. So Jabari texts him to come see him at his office. Him and Braden link up, and Braden tells him Riley told him to stay away from Tariq and that maybe he's not telling him everything about himself or his daddy. So Tariq was like, what you think? He was like, shit, I think she fucking crazy. So they dap up, and Braden says, he wanted to keep dealing because he's good at it, but Reek is unsure because, he think that they about to be on the run. He don't even know if he about to be at that school anymore. So he was like, if I don't want to do it no more, you can take over the business yourself. Once again, Braden's thirstiness to be the next Tony Montana is gonna get him fucked up because he doesn't have to live this lifestyle. Tariq does for the most part. But Braden is choosing to be a thug at this point and doesn't have any reason to be a thug. I mean, Tariq was in that position, but not anymore. So this is going to be a whole shit show with Braden. So Tariq goes to see Jabari at his office, and Jabari asks him if he knows Drew, and Tariq says no, and Jabari was like, you ain't got to lie to me, girl. You ain't got to lie to kick it. He was like, I know you're involved with the Tejada family, that you sell drugs to Drew. I can help you. I like to use you as a basis for my next novel. I can share my advance with you. The cops are getting closer to connecting the dots. And as Tariq's sitting there like, how the fuck this bitch know all my business? What the fuck, girl? I didn't even see this shit coming. Detective Santana come in and asks Jabari how things are going with the case. Jabari tells Tariq, think about what he said and gives him his number. And Tariq leave like, oh, no, girl, we are not about to do this today. Not today, Satan. So Tasha goes to see Monet at the bar, once again looking fabulous. And she offers to buy Tariq out because she wants to get her, family back intact. And Monet says, my husband would never agree to that shit. And Tasha say, I ain't asked your husband, bitch. I asked you. She's like, I know what it's like to live in the shadow of your husband and decisions that will be made. Like, look, girl, mother to mother, help a bitch out. So Monet says, girl, it's too late. Reek said he always pick you, but he belongs to me now. This is his life. This is who he is. Remember that line. We'll talk about that in a minute. So then all of a sudden, as Tasha looking at her like, who the fuck you talking to? Bullets start ringing out. Monet shooting, plop, 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 rat-a-tat-tat. Tasha ducking for cover like, what the fuck is going on, bitch? Like, the fuck is this ghetto shit? I just got out of jail. So, after the shooting, and what's her name? Monet's man got killed. Tasha runs over to the window and sees Tommy's car speeding off, and she realized that Tommy is coming for that ass. So, Reek is in his room packing up to leave, and Tasha barges in and tells him that Tommy just tried to kill her, and they got to go now. We got to get the fuck out of here. Put the chains on the door. The enemy is here. So Reek says he can get them some money, and Tasha's like, Tommy is a fucking killer, girl. We ain't got time for all that. And Tariq was like, so am I. And she looking like, oh, bitch. Oh, this nigga is a real life killer. Like, oh shit, like he ain't my little boy no more. So like her character was literally sitting there like, oh shit, like it's all coming to fruition now that damn, my damn son is a motherfucking killer. God damn shit, where have I been? So he says, didn't I tell you I always protect you? And so he gives her a burner phone with his number and was like, I'm going to handle this. Like, just stay by the phone. So Tariq ponders calling Jabari after Tasha leaves the room. Monet goes to see Lorenzo at jail or whatever, and he gets on her for killing Rico because he did not give her the okay to do that. And he tells her they need an alliance now and that he needs Kane, that she needs Kane. She tells him no because he the one that started all this shit and that she needs Ramirez and you need to find him. He was like, look, girl, I don't know what's up with all this Ramirez shit, but you better be saying you need him because of this situation, nothing else. So she turned around, look at him and say, if you didn't get yourself caught in this bullshit, I wouldn't need Ramirez, so find him. And so he looking like, okay, so it's some shit going on here. She fucking that nigga. Okay. All right, girl. I'm gonna let you have that because I'm locked up. So Lorenzo tells her, fine, that Ramirez is fine because no one knows that he works for him, but he will locate him. So, Monet goes to see Kane, who's at the Guapo little warehouse fucking some girl back out. So the little girl dip out and he lets it slip that he killed Ramirez. And Monet like, you know what? Like, oh, child, where did I go wrong? I should have never dropped you that day. So she was like, maybe it's my fault you're this way. You never make the right decisions. And he says, girl, you don't either. Like, who you talking to? And he was like, when are you going to realize that I was all you ever needed? Not Ramirez, not Tariq. And she says that she can't trust him. Like, I can't trust you. Like, you just an idiot. And she leaves. So now he's even more like, fuck, I'm even more on the outs now. So Tariq locates Tommy as Many Men starts playing. It just took me back to when I was a huge 50 Cent fan. You couldn't tell me I want to go marry that nigga. So he texts Jabari that he's in on the deal, but needs the advance ASAP. So Tommy walks out of a townhouse or a little brownstone or whatever, and we realize that he went to go see Cash, his little ex, little stepson, boo. Boo thing. What's her name? What was Lala character name? Shit, I'd have forgot. But that bitch, the dead bitch, son. It was good seeing his character come back. Hopefully, him and Tariq can link up and they can work together. But nah, I forgot Tasha killed his mama. Never mind. So Tommy sees Tariq leaning up against his car. He was like, I gave Ghost my word I wouldn't kill you, but if you don't get your skinny ass off my car, I will beat your ass. It was so good to see Tommy back. Like, he just pops on screen. It was so good. I cannot wait for his spinoff show called Force. So Reek confronts him about trying to kill Tasha, and Tommy was like, I ain't done yet neither. I want all the smoke, bitch. So Tariq was like, even if I got a plan that will get us all what we want. Tommy was like, you got 2 minutes. Shoot your shot. So Sax is fucking Jenny, and I got to give it to Sax. The actor that plays Sax, his body is everything. Body yada 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 yada. That body was all right. That was hello, Sax. So Davis texts him in the middle of fucking and tells him that Tommy is trying to kill Tasha. So Sax puts on his clothes and says he going after him so he can get his job back. So Tariq sets his plan in motion. We see Tasha get in the car and Sax is in the back seat. He's been having her ride around all day so they can catch Tommy trying to kill her. The dramatics of it all. The feds tell Sax they got eyes on Tommy. They follow him as he's following Tasha. Tasha speeds off and Tommy sees Sax in the back seat. The feds start chasing Tommy, who runs into something and blows up the car and fakes his death. It was the stupidest shit I ever seen in my life. This was like some Days of Our Life type shit. But all right, girl. Okay. So Tasha texts Tariq and asks if he has the money, and he meets with Jabari, who gives him, half of his little advance money. So Jabari say, I can't, just tell me this one thing. I can't figure out who killed that boy at the pool. Was it Drew? And at that point, Kane pop out from behind a tree like, gotcha, nigga. So, he accuses Tariq of snitching. He was like, I knew that you was a snitch. I knew you was gonna snitch on my family. And Tariq looking like, bitch, what are you talking about, girl? Are you hungry? Do you need a Snicker? Like what? Like you was like what? Like girl, please have several. So Tariq brings up him killing Ramirez and says without him, Monet business is done. And he was like, look, girl, I can help you. So Tariq tells him to use Ramirez's gun to finish off Jabari, and he'll help him get back in with the family. Kane gives him the gun, and Reek was like, go somewhere where a lot of people can see you. So he walks off. Tariq thinks the coast is clear, and he says to Jabari, why did you have to make me do this? And Jabari was like, you're a good kid. I just knew they was going to have him say, you're a good kid in a bad city. Because that's some shit that the writers over there would do. So Tariq said, you don't know me. I killed my own father to protect my mother. You don't think I'll do what it takes to survive? It always come down to me, my family, and a gun. And child, when they had that baby say that, I almost turned off my TV. It always comes down to me, my family, and a gun. Girl, all right, girl. But that was another foreshadowing line that we'll get into in a minute. So Tariq kills Jabari as Kane overhears everything that he's saying and thinks that once again he got the upper hand on Tariq now. So Zeke and Cara Dad still smashing. Davis goes to see Sax at his office as he's packing up to resign and offers him a job, and Sax takes the offer. So now it's about to be Dumb and Dumber. Child. And Tamika is, like I said, the new proctor who will be Tariq's lawyer moving forward, that will be getting him out of all of the trouble that he'll be getting into over the next couple of years. So Reek looks at himself in the mirror. He's looking like, I'm a killer now. I'm a man. I got 3 bodies under my belt. Can't nobody fuck with me. So Tommy calls him and tells him, did everything go as planned? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I got rid of my back molars and shit for this stuff because, the teeth, clarify that it's the, a dead body when the body has been quote unquote disintegrated. So Tommy lies and says that he's on the turnpike leaving and says goodbye, but Tariq doesn't believe him. He makes a phone call to somebody saying, I need your help. So Tasha is at Raina's grave saying goodbye, and Tariq arrives with a book bag and was like, where's Yaz? And she was like, I couldn't bring her. I left her with Big Mama. Ain't shit ass mama. How you gonna leave your baby? So Tommy is hiding behind one of the graves trying to pop up and kill Tasha. This shit is just so stupid. And before he can pop up to shoot her, the feds pull up, and Tariq was like, I had to do it, Mom. I had to do it. I had to protect you. She's like, Tariq, what did you do? What did you do? He was like, Mom, I had to make sure you were safe. So she realizes that she's about to go into witness protection anyway, but now she's going into witness protection by herself. So she hugs Tariq goodbye, and they say they love each other, and he watches his mama go. Tommy then grabs him up by the throat and threatens him and says he's never going to stop trying to kill Tasha. Then Monet walk up behind him and hold him at gunpoint. He was like, who the fuck got a lot of balls to put a gun up to my head? And Tommy sees Monet, and he was like, look, be careful with this one, because she's a slippery one. So Tariq says he wasn't wrong. He did what he had to do even if people hated him, talking about ghosts. Diana and Drew pull up, and Tommy says, see, this is the bullshit I be talking about. Like, you just like ghosts. And Tariq says, if I ever see you again, maybe I'll be worthy of his name. And Tommy say, we ain't gonna never see each other again. And he leaves. And so they look at Ghost. Monet and Tariq look at Ghost grave, and Monet says, so you really did kill your father. And Tariq says he might not be here no more, but ghosts never die. And I was like, girl, okay, Courtney, and you stupid ass, right? Like, y'all really need to write for a soap opera at this point. So then Monet says, let's go. The family's waiting, which is another foreshadow. So here's my thoughts going on to season 2. Season 2, Tariq is heavily now into the Tejada family. He will continue to help Monet run this drug empire. He will continue to deal at the school with Brayden. Him and Diana will continue to get closer and closer, but his eye will continue to roam towards Lauren and Effie. He will realize more and more how much he's like his father, especially when it comes to the women in his life and him having a wandering eye, not being able to commit fully to just one woman. And he will see how his father got himself in the predicament that he's in. Kane will continue to fuck up and go after him and put a wedge between him and his family. Tasha's character at this point is being phased out. I think at some point she will come back. It won't be season 2. We might see her once or twice. She'll give Tariq a phone call when she ain't supposed to be. But for right now, her character's being phased out. I don't believe Tasha's character will come back until Tariq has a family of his own. And by that, I've been saying that at some point, Diana's going to get pregnant by Tariq, whether it be on purpose or by accident. She's going to get pregnant by him she's going to get pregnant by him. That's going to further solidify him being with the Tejada family. Because remember, he said, well, it always comes down to me, a gun, and my family. So remember, Monet said the family's waiting. Foreshadowing. Now he's a part of the Tejada family. This is his new family. Monet will be like a surrogate mother figure to him and a business partner. Drew and him will get closer. Him and Diana will get closer, and him and Kane will continue to be on the outs with one another. And like I said, Diana will get pregnant by him, and he will have his own family. And when Tasha comes back into the storyline, remember how she said, Monet said, you always choose me. At some point, it will get to a point where he has to choose his family over Tasha. And Tasha's not going to be able to deal with that for a minute. I think they'll be able to work their way around it, but she's going to come back to find that he is really has a new family with Monet, Drew, Diana, and his own child now that he has to put before her and Yasmin. And that's going to cause contention between him and Tasha moving forward when that does happen. But like I said, he will be further into the Tejada family, and the stakes will continue to get higher and higher as he gets deeper into this underworld. I don't see this series ending with Tariq going to jail or dying. I see him being smarter than his father and being able to work the system, work the game, get what he needs, and settle the fuck down. I do see this show ending with him ending up with one woman and a family and doing right by his family. After fucking up, he's gonna fuck up, but he's gonna do right by his family in the end and have the life that he wanted for himself and Tasha and Ghost and all them. But he is gonna fuck up along the way and hurt people along the way. Davis and Sax, like I said, are gonna be the new Dumb and Dumber. They're gonna be Ren and Stimpy together, just causing fuckery in the courtroom. Tamika will be the next Proctor. She will be Tariq's pit bull in a skirt. Who else is on the show? Drew and Everett. Drew gonna still be sprung off that little nigga for a minute, and then something gonna end up happening with Everett where he gonna have to lay that little nigga down. Cara Dad and Zeke, that's a whole shit show. They gonna get found out about. She gonna lose her job. You about to lose your job. I said, you about to lose your job. And he's going to potentially almost lose his basketball career. But they probably going to flip it somewhere and say that she seduced him or something like that, because you know that bitch is a freaky hoe. Who else is on the show? Riley. Riley is going to continue to be a nuisance. I can see Brayden falling back into that. She's not going to be a Holly character, but she's going to continue to be a fly on the wall that everybody wants to kill and swat away. Like I said, I really think for Lauren's character, remember Lauren's character's brother was in rehab. When she finds out who Tariq is and what Tariq has been up to, she's not going to approve of it. She's going to look down on him. And I can also see her, like I said, taking school so seriously and trying to be this image and this perfect student for her family that she's going to succumb to using pills, the same pills that Tariq is dealing. She's going to end up being a user of those pills, and she's going to become addicted. I can see her being strung out. I really see them copying off of Snowfall and making her an addict, just like they did with old girl on Snowfall. Watch what I tell you. Effie and Tariq will grow closer. I think that he's going to end up loving her and having a real connection with her, but the shit with him and Diana and being part of their family and being family with her and being in this relationship and probably, like I said, getting pregnant and having a child with her is going to ruin things with that whole situation. So Effie is going to be the new Angela, not Lauren. Who else is on the show? Kane. Kane is just a wild card. He's gonna be all over the place trying to figure out a way to get back into the family. I hope at some point they have him put down this stupid grudge against Tariq because it's dumb. I'm just over it. But he is gonna blackmail Tariq because now he has Tariq killing Jabari under his belt, and he's gonna use that against Tariq, and they're gonna continue to go back and forth. And then something's gonna end up happening where either Monet gonna, like she said, I'm gonna put your ass down, but he's not gonna die that quick. But they're gonna go after each other. Remember I said that Kane is gonna end up killing Monet at some point. I really honestly do feel like he's gonna end up killing her. Yeah, so those are all of my season 2 thoughts going into next season. Thank you guys for fucking with me with this season. Overall, I grade season 1 of Power book 2. I give it an overall grade of a B minus. It was a B minus because there was a lot of things that I didn't agree with, but it was enjoyable to watch. I really don't expect much from this show at this point, so it's just entertainment for me. But I give it a B minus. It wasn't horrible and it wasn't great either. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys thought. What are your predictions for next season? Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye.